Trying to make money by ripping off a victim. Numbers show thieves got more than $2 billion from people in 2021. The BBB said a common scam is where thieves use threats and scare tactics on people.
I was so scared that I was going to be arrested.
She's talking about the phone call she got where a man said he was a sheriff's deputy. He said there was a warrant out for her arrest because she did not make it to jury duty. She used a payment app to then transfer $2,500.
This guy, one, he took my money, but then he's trying to target other people too.
When you send money to somebody using one of these apps, a lot of times you can't get your money back because you're authorizing that transaction.
She went on to say people have got to be suspicious of anyone who reaches out to you unsolicited. And look here at some of the fog I ran in tonight in southern Montgomery County. It seemed a bit spotty for a while, but I could really kind of see it when I came up to, say, a stoplight or an overhead light right there, even some headlights coming from the other direction, as you would say.
And now, your Storm Center 7 forecast with meteorologist Robert Gauthreaux III.
And I know earlier in our 90 Minutes of News, you and Chief Meteorologist McCall Bradage talking about concerns for fog, and when we're seeing it in parts of our viewing area up in Troy as well.
Yep, saw some in Troy. Looks a little bit thicker there, but it's been really the last several hours it's been getting thicker. Now, we don't have dense fog advisories across most of the Miami Valley at this point, but we are looking at, say, up in Indiana, where we do have some dense fog advisories. That's not to say that we won't see any, but right now, we're definitely at least seeing fog across the region. And like we mentioned, just in Troy, we were seeing a little bit of fog there. We can see some fog in some places. Again, not as thick to warrant a dense fog advisory just yet, but right here in the public square, you can see cars getting around okay, but a little bit more foggy, as meteorologist Austin Cheney, or I would say. I thought maybe it was a southern thing. Some people were confused. He posted that on Facebook earlier. It's a little bit foggy outside. I think you can agree. 47 degrees is the temperature. We're really not going to see that fluctuate very much because it is rather cloudy outside and, yeah, a little bit foggy. You can see temperatures across the rest of the Miami Valley in the 40s as well. We're now looking at the 30s here. Salina is the coolest spot at 41, and things are dry as far as the radar is concerned. You're scanning, and you're not seeing anything pop up here. We had a few showers make their way through today, real isolated. In fact, I'd even just call them drizzles, sprinkles moving across the region. It's going to be a little bit different tomorrow. We are expecting widespread rain likely. Now, as far as how much we'll see, we're not going to see much more than an inch, if that. But then as the temperatures really begin to cool down, this is all in advance of a cold front, we might even see a few flurries. Now, there's some thick cloud cover coming in right now, not to mention we have some of that fog here at the ground. And as we move into the overnight hours, will likely remain pretty foggy. Now, as you can see here off toward the west, there's an area of low pressure. That's why you see it kind of spinning around there. And as you get into southern Kansas and northern Oklahoma, that's the system that's going to be making its way toward the Midwest. And you can see, at least on the front side of it, we're looking at some rainfall. On the back side, you're looking at some snowfall. That's what we're going to be dealing with here. First, we're going to see rain, and then we're going to see the chance for a few flurries. As far as rain right now, you're just looking at some showers up near Erie, Pennsylvania. Now, let's time this out. Mostly cloudy overnight. I still wouldn't rule out a few passing sprinkles, but beyond that, we're relatively dry until we get to the later morning hours, closer towards, say, 10 a.m. That's when we're going to start to see at least the bulk of the rain begin to enter the Miami Valley. Notice you see a lot of yellow and orange there. There may be some times where the rain's a little bit heavy. I wouldn't even rule out a few rumbles of thunder. The best chance for that's likely going to be closer towards Cincinnati. So perhaps Butler, Warren, Clinton counties, you might hear a couple rumbles of thunder, not expecting any severe weather or anything like that. But notice how the Miami Valley is covered in at least green, if not even some yellow and some orange. Now, this will continue throughout the afternoon, likely. And take a look as we move into the later evening hours. That's when the cold air really comes in, because this is all in advance of a cold front coming through. And if that temperature drops enough, we'll likely see a few flurries falling, perhaps even a few light snow showers. Now, it's going to be later in the evening where you're going to see that chance for it to perhaps turn into ice, not icy roads, but I mean snowfall moving into the area. And then it'll move out fairly quickly. You might see a few light flurries Friday morning, and then beyond that, we're looking pretty good. The weekend actually looks nice. As far as how much snowfall we can expect, I would say most of the area will see less than half an inch or anything. So just some real light accumulation. Now, over the next 7 days, you can see temperatures are cold, at least into the weekend. We're back to typical January temperatures, but then we warm back up next week, 40s and 50s. Might even see a few returning showers Monday and Tuesday.
All right, Robert, thank you. Doctors say this is the worst flu season in a decade here in the U.S., but as numbers drop a bit, they are getting more and more worried about what's going on with COVID.